Well, good morning and welcome to Sunrise Daily. I'm Ayo Makinde. Right now, the temperature is looking in the region of 26 degrees and it feels like 29 degrees already. And don't forget, today is July 8, 2025. Well, Kade already hinted at how sunny you're looking this morning, even though you're wearing blue.
Was the color of people who wanted to look good. Never mind that when you're talking about how someone is looking gloomy, you say he or she is looking blue. But never mind, blue is the color of sunshine this morning on this program. And we're looking at, well, it just happens I'm not the only one wearing blue. It appears that my guest also agrees with us. And this morning I'm going to be introducing to you, our guest, who's going to be taking a look at a number of developing stories with us as well. Help me welcome Mr. Matthias Sado, who's a former presidential aspirant and convener of the Hope Platform Initiative. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Okay.
Well, this morning we're taking a look at a number of issues. First on the list is this conversation which happened yesterday with my colleague, or our colleague, Terry Kumi. He had a conversation with Senator Ireti Kingibe, the only senator representing the Federal Capital Territory. And clearly, I mean, over the years, herself and the current minister of the FCT haven't quite hit it off. And she says that he is out of touch with the needs of the people of the FCT and that the people of the FCT resent him. She believes that the forthcoming area council polls, which is very much like the local government elections in the FCT, conducted by INEC, by the way. It is the only elections conducted by the only local government elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission. So some people attribute to it a sense of fairness, that oftentimes it reflects how the people of the FCT truly feel. Now, it's unclear whether we're going to be seeing that same feeling after the elections, but Senator Kingibe is pretty certain that how the people of the FCT feel about the leadership of the Minister of the FCT will be made clear in the forthcoming area council polls. Take a listen to her.
Local government elections will come early next year. That is when the people of the FCT show ministers, we like you or we do not like you. The local government election is going to tell whether Wike controls FCT, because nobody does. And it's only people who have lived here for a long time know that the people of the FCT have their independent mind. And it's people who live here, you walk on the streets and you will know that the one thing that unites us all in the FCT is our resentment of the minister. It's not just about development. It's about treating us with levity, treating us with disregard and contempt.
Well, for the entirety of that interview, we'll ask you to watch Political Paradigm, which airs later today at about 2 p.m. And if you missed that, it will air again at 11 p.m. Immediately after the news at 10. So, yes, something for you to watch out for. But that's where we're going to be starting from today. I don't know, I'm sure you must have seen a snippet of that interview.
Yes.
And I'm also sure that you've been following, as a resident of the FCT, the back and forth. Sometimes we see the tension we see between the two of them.
Yeah.
How confident are you that this is what we're going to be witnessing in the area council polls?
Well, I think it's neither here or there. I don't believe in such kind of theatrics in politics. I believe strongly in you understanding your strategy and working with the strategy to win an election. Coming on air to brag about whether we're going to show people or whether somebody is going to be taught a lesson, it's really neither here or there. As far as the people are concerned, as far as we are concerned, the residents of Abuja, I think what we are clamoring for is, look, how do you make this environment safe? How do you make social amenities available for more people? How do you deal with the issue of education for children that are currently, the teachers are on strike? How do you deal with the issue of lightning of Abuja, the electricity, the street lights? How do you deal with sewages? So these are the basic issues that we want to see addressed, not necessarily politicians coming at each other. For the past couple of days, I think everybody has seen the FCT minister. I think at this moment he needs to understand that, look, he can't fight so many wars and win. He has multiple wars going on. And I think those are self-inflicted challenges for himself. But like I said, we as the people, our priority is: can you focus on delivery for the people? Can you focus on governance? Now, I would have challenged, and I would love to challenge Senator Ireti Kingebe at this point. Look, the FCT minister just renovated ICC with almost, I think, over 39 billion. Now, I expect that as the senator representing the FCT, she should be able to go out, carry out an investigation, find out truly how much does it cost for them to do this. Did Wike buy another plot of land? Did they do another set of foundation? Did they bring down the entire structure? What exactly did they do that amounted to that amount of money? Now, when you are able to come up with such kind of proof that you have done that investigation, you have carried out this kind of investigation, and then you come out to Nigerian people to say, this is what I have found. Those are the kind of things that will that will endear the people to you. The issue of land grabbing, so many things have been going on. She as a minister, she as the senator representing the FCT, she has her job cut out for her. So then the theatrics of Wike will be taught a lesson after. I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, some people will argue that it's both of them doing their, in the course of doing their jobs, but she's saying that the minister needs to listen more. But we're still going to be staying in the Senate. We've seen, this is not drama now, but judgment delivered by the Federal High Court Justice Binta Nyako, delivering judgment in the case of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. As a matter of fact, today, we'll be keeping an eye out as to whether or not she will be resuming, as she said she will be, following the court judgment. But there are those who have said, like the senator said, that they're yet to be served the certified true copy of that judgment. And as such, it does appear that there have been areas of dispute over what was said in court, vis-a-vis, who heard what and who did not hear what. But she says she's going to be resuming today. Is the certified true copy of the judgment out now, enabling her resume, as she has said?
Mokwe, it's rather unfortunate that we have reduced ourselves as a country to these kind of deliberations. Why did I say this? Right from the beginning, we have seen how the Senate handled the situation with Senator Natasha. Now, I spent time to find out about her history in politics. The chronicle of her journey politically is inspiring. For someone who, a woman that's against all odds, was able to fight her way into being elected as a senator. I think the earlier program, they were talking about a bill for women women representatives in the same National Assembly. And these few women that have been able to make it by their own, rigor and strength and enforcing their way through the challenges of the men-dominated environment, was able to make it to the Senate. And at the moment now, they've reduced the entire thing into allegations of this and that. Now, leave that aside. The Senate is saying, we have not seen the judgment, we have not seen the CTC of the judgment, and so for that reason, we will not be able to admit her into the Senate. They don't have the right to admit her into the Senate. What happened is that The judge, and again, let me state this. It's unfortunate that when judgments are delivered in Nigeria, judgments are supposed to be clear, unambiguous. They are supposed to be straight. The declaration or the pronouncement of the judge is supposed to be something that everyone can hear loud and clear and would be able to take. If the judge had declared that Senator Natasha should be in prison, would they be waiting for CTC? If they had declared that she should, when they declared that she was guilty or found wanting in terms of what's it called again?
Contempt.
Contempt. Did they wait for CTC before they started talking about her that she should go and pay 5 million? This doesn't make sense. So what should be is that the Senate said they suspended her, and the judge said, no, you do not have the right to suspend somebody for this amount of time. So if you don't have the right to suspend somebody for beyond 14 days as provided for them in their rule book, why would they take such kind of action? Now, the Senate president or the Senate, the Nigerian Senate, had decided that, okay, we are overreaching ourselves. We are extending our power beyond what is provided for us. And that is illegality. Now, the question I want to ask you, if Natasha is being punished for an error, or if she's being punished by the court to say, oh, because of contempt, who is punishing the Senate for overreaching themselves? Who is punishing them for the illegality? For me, I heard her yesterday when she said she's going to wait for the document to resume with the document. But I'm calling on the Nigerian Senate. Man up. Forget about these theatrics. These things are they are not the things that Nigerians want to see. As yesterday, I was reading a poll that was conducted by API, and they said 82% of Nigerians do not have confidence in the Nigerian Senate. Now, their star girl, the person that is supposed to be their number 9 striker, is the one that they are attacking. Is because, look, I want to take time to just give you a bit of the things that I've seen.
We do not have the luxury of the time, I'm afraid, Mr. Sado.
Because, in the midst of all of these things that are going on, yes, Senator Natasha is still touching the lives of the people. So she has become a source of inspiration to many young people. So Senate should have been worshipping her to say, you are our star girl.
Worshipping, that's a pretty strong word. Yes. But let me quickly say, are you saying then, because you just said, as you made reference to something she said yesterday, that she'll be waiting for the CTC.
I think
so. You're saying that
I saw it.
She won't be resuming today?
I saw it on one social media feed where she said she would wait to get the document. That when she made the announcement that she would be resuming on Tuesday was when the pronouncement was just made. But now I think they've given her some counsel to say, okay, we need to, because of the fact that every judgment in Nigeria now needs clarity, which is, to me, an indictment on our judiciary.
Some people will say that the entirety of the judgment wasn't read, and then there are some parts people came out arguing as to whether or not she should apologize to the court or whether she should apologize to the Senate. Those parts were not clear. The contempt
of the court is against the court. Okay. The apology is for the court, not for the Nigerian Senate.
Okay,
that's
the interpretation that you have given. Well, that is where we'll have to wrap it up at this point. I wish we could take on many more issues which we had listed, but this clearly has taken the chunk of our time. We are hoping that we'll have you back again at some point, at least to see, especially as the development of the... Are you in the ADC, by the way?
Oh, well, I'm still here trying to... I thought I would have opportunity to talk about the fact that we need to celebrate the emergence of ADC. I'm not a member yet, but I believe that it is something that Nigerians need at the moment, because sincerely speaking, what this government is taking the people of Nigeria to, is what they used to say on social media, that you are taking me to where I do not know.
We'll see how that eventually pans out. We have to thank you very much for coming. Mr. Matthias Sado is a former presidential aspirant and also the convener of the Hope Platform Initiative. Sunrise Daily will be back in just a moment. We have a special guest this morning. Please stay with us.
Are you ready for a divine encounter?
Well, we're starting from the northwest of Nigeria this morning, and we're happy to have the governor of Katsina State with us, His Excellency Diko Radda, who's the governor of Katsina State. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us this morning, all the way from Katsina. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Let us start with, the new signage of the tax reform laws. I know that has been the work of compromise and will I say give and take, so to speak. Because initially we know that the 19 governors of the northern region had, kicked against it and had taken their objections now to the National Economic Council. Thankfully, they were able to move beyond all of the hurdles at the National Assembly. And today we have a new tax reform law, which will be kicking off on the 1st of January 2026. I wanted to ask what your expectations of that tax reform law are.
Thank you very much. Fundamentally, I think what we have witnessed during that time is a call for the unity and support for the Nigerian government in all ramifications. We are subnationals and we care much about the happenings of our people and the consequences of any law to our people. So on that note, that was why the 19 northern states took that position, not because they were against the government, but because they want to bring about a better unity for the development of our country. And today that it has been signed and it was all agreed by all Nigerians, our expectation is to see this law help to develop the economy and the well-being and standard of living of our citizens. And the most important part of that law that catches my attention is the tax relief for the small businesses, which is a very big plus for the country, and it will help a lot in rejuvenating the economy. We have been calling for that since when I was the DG's maiden, so that we can have relief on the small businesses, which are the engine room for the growth of Nigeria. And what we had today, it has really succeeded in doing that, and we are so grateful that the law is signed.
Fantastic. I'm just glad that you mentioned the fact that you were once DG Smith, and I think we a few days ago, we had the current DG Smith here with us, and he mentioned the fact that Katsina State had come tops with regards to, states doing great jobs, supporting MSMEs. I can't remember off the top of my head if you retained that position this year, but yes, he did mention Katsina as one of the exemplary states. But can you tell us what it has been like for you? I mean, how have you prioritized medium, small, and micro enterprises in your state? What would you say has been the attractive?
We have so much belief that no economy all over the world can grow without the MSMEs. And my stay in Sweden for 6 years has really opened my eyes on things that need to be done for micro and small businesses in our country. And when I'm saddled with the responsibility in the subnational at Katsina in particular, I felt that the first thing I should do is to establish an agency that we call Katsina State Enterprise Development Agency, saddled with the responsibility of developing those businesses. And the first thing we did, we established it through the legal backing of the State House of Assembly, and then we funded it fully, because first and foremost, as at last year to date, we have funded the agency with over 5 billion. for the small businesses to develop, and we have matched these funds with funding from the BOI, Sterling Bank, and Smeden, which makes the funding about 10 billion for MSMEs to take advantage of. And the first priority we gave to it is we have done a lot of capacity building on MSME. We have done a baseline survey of all our MSME in the state, and we categorize them into different categories of nano, macro, small, and medium. And we have been able to create a BDS, that is business development agents, in all our wards across the states. We have empowered them with laptops so that they can be able to monitor, guide the MSME in their localities. And then we categorize even the funding in different categories. There is those that are responsible, there is those that we gave grants, there are those that we gave loan, and all the loans that we gave to all our MSMEs, we didn't charge any interest. The government is banning out the interest rate, and also the government is giving them is paying for the administrative charges from the banks. So what we are trying to do is to try to empower them financially capable, and then improve their skills acquisition, and also improve their vocational standard. And so that and what we did is also we have revamped the IDC center that we have in Katsina. We have provided it in conjunction with SMED, and we have provided it with all the necessary machineries. And we are focusing our attention on ICT and fashion development. We have provided all the necessary machineries for the small business to take advantage of that center, because it's a hope that allows them to come and do whatever they want to do, because most of our small businesses cannot afford those industrial machines that they need to boost their economy.
So
and we provided that.
It's 2 years now of you being in, 2 years plus, because you were elected, you were sworn in on the 29th of May. For a number of people, while you've done some of these things, the challenges continue to remain for small businesses. One of the biggest challenges that MSMEs face is the issue of power. I think businesses in general across Nigeria. Are you doing anything in the area of affordable electricity, especially now that there's been a devolution of some sort, devolution of powers to the states with regards to regulation and production of electricity?
Yeah, we have gone far in that area, because what I would like to tell you now is that we have even developed some mini grids for the benefit, so that we can be able to do. We have developed some mini grids which are about to launch very soon, and so that at least we can take power off those places and be able to provide efficient supply of work using the renewable energy concept. Because we identified in Katsina State that we have about 12 institutions that consume about 95% of our cost of energy. And we are trying to take all those 12 institutions away from the national grid so that we can provide them with, and then reduce cost of overhead of our states. And then I also want to tell you that we have developed an economic center. And that economic zone that we have developed, we are trying to empower that economic zone with an independent power. We have been talking to many companies. We have signed an MOU. Very soon we are going to start providing the solar energy in those industrial centers. The essence of providing solar energy is for those who have small businesses to establish. They have a space and they have electricity 24 hours, and they have a one-stop shop in that economic center that provides all the regulatory agencies a space for them to be able to regulate their businesses and be able to be monitored properly with electricity available. And we are aware that the federal government has established a windmill in Katsina, and that windmill has been in existence for over 10 years ago, since the time of the late President Radda when he was president. And then the place has become moribund and is not being efficiently utilized. And then it has not even been launched because the project has not been completed. It's about 80-90% completion. And I have gone to Paris. I met with the company that established it. And then we wrote to Mr. President. And when he was in Katsina, we told Mr. President what we need is for the federal government to hand over that project to us to complete and also do a hybrid and hybrid on the windmill along with the solar energy, so that at least we can generate 20 megawatt from that and be able to address some of the power challenges that we have in our state. And that has gone far. And we are meeting with the company in Paris so that we can finalize arrangement. And the federal government has since sent a delegation to the state so that we can finish the handing over process of that windmill, so that we can generate electricity for our people. And we have been talking to other companies that want to come and set up a solar farm and generate about 100 megawatts. And that has also been in the process. And we are talking with the French government as at now, and they are introducing a hydro 2 megawatt hydro power plants. And they are starting with Danger Dam so that we can provide electricity to our farmers and help them to provide.
Let me quickly take you up on the issue of the windmill, which you mentioned. It's very heartwarming to hear that as a state government, you are taking on that project that has been abandoned by the federal government for close to a decade or so. It's interesting because we on this program have shown that particular windmill site for some time now, wondering when it will come to completion. How many megawatts are you hoping to be able to generate from that? And given the fact that it was a federal government project, have you been allowed to take it on, or is there some agreements you're reaching with the federal government towards that?
Yes, the president has since given us approval to take up the windmill. What we are waiting is the Ministry of Power to finish all the paperwork so that we can get to start the work on it. And we have since made a cost-benefit analysis of all things, and then we got to know that the state government can be able to shoulder the responsibility of completion of that project. And we also, because the way the project was conceived, is supposed to be a 10 megawatt windmill. But when we had discussion with those people that started it, an expert in that area, it clearly indicates that since being equal, all things being equal, we cannot be able to generate up to 10 because of the way it was conceived up initial, but it can generate about 5 to 6 megawatt, and we are intending to have a solar farm by the side of it, which can generate 10 megawatt, and then put up the 10 megawatts along with the 5 or 6 megawatt that we can generate from the windmill, and be able to at least have 12, 13, 14 megawatt in that place. So that is what we intend to achieve, and that is what we are working to achieve. And inshallah, we are going to make it very soon. And the work will soon commence when we finish the paperwork with the Federal Ministry of Power.
All right, Your Excellency. My colleague Ayo is in Lagos, and he has questions for you as well. Over now to you, Ayo.
Okay. Your Excellency, good morning, and wonderful to hear that, I mean, someone who has run the micro, small, and medium enterprises apparatus of the country, you definitely understand the terrain. But of all the wonderful and lofty things that you have talked about, the begging question would be, how much of that, how do you secure investments? We all know that banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, they are no longer just state or regional issues. Now, they are national issues as well. But for you in Kaduna State, what is the plan? Because to hear that sometimes it will seem like insecurity throws a curved ball at us and we just suddenly react to it when it comes, it's a little disturbing. For farmers, for micro, small, and medium enterprises, what is your own? I know you don't have all the apparatus of state for all of that. We'll come to that. But what is your own strategy of securing the investments of the people that you invite to come invest in Katsina State?
I'm quite aware of the fact that the security situation in the country is a holistic thing, and it's something that affects all parts of the country in one way or the other. And we came readily, we are fully informed, and we are really ready to face the challenges, because we are quite aware that there is security challenges in our state. When I took over the state, about 24 local governments they are all being affected by the insecurity. But when we came in, we established what we call Katsina Community Watch Corps, and we are able to provide them with equipment, training, and then we provided them with requisite laws, and then we provided them with what law allowed us to do in terms of firearms. And then they dealt with the situation as much working with the conventional security agencies in our state. We are not saying that there is still no insecurity in our state. There are still some pockets of insecurity, but it has drastically reduced to what it used to be. And now that we can say that we have pushed the insecurity to the local governments that borders the forest, and then we are also, even at that, you will see that most of the insecurity are pockets. And then, and we have reduced it. If you come personally and inspect those local governments and talk to the locals, you will hear their own view about how the insecurity is in the state. And you know that the insecurity situation has been escalated to the level that when you come to the state, you feel that everywhere you will see bandits, everywhere you will see killings and all these things. It's not the way people were escalating and scaling up these things. People have to be fair on what the government is doing to address this situation, because no meaningful development is going to take place if there are a lot of insecurity issues. What we tried to do was to secure the state as much as we can and reduce the level of insecurity. And we are quite aware that the state governors are state security chiefs, but they are not, the army and the police are not responsible and are not answerable. They are not answerable to us, but we are collaborators, we work together. And that was the reason why we created our own security outfit, so that they can complement what the security men are doing. And we took these boys from their localities where those things are happening, because they know the terrain better, they know those people better. And most of these perpetrators of this banditry are people from our own area. They are not alien people. They are not 90-something% of them. We know their fathers, we know their grandfathers, and they are living with us. So this situation requires local involvement, and that was why we created this outfit, so that people at the local level can provide us with information. They can lead the fight to the enclaves of the bandit, because they know the terrain better, and they can be able to fish out informants that are living within us and giving information for the bandit, and those also who provide logistic support to the bandit, because without unbundling that, you will not be able to fight this insecurity successfully, because most of those people that are giving them logistics, that are providing them with logistics, providing them with information, collaborating with them, are living with us and sleeping with us. So the first thing that we need to do is to fish out, and we have gone far in doing that. We are able to eradicate a lot of them, remove them, and take them to the law enforcement agency for proper attention. And that has been going on, and we have to say that thank Almighty Allah for giving us this opportunity to reduce this level of insecurity. And we continue to fight, and we are looking at the challenges and trying to surmount all these challenges and be able, and the synergy between the community watch corps that we have created, the Nigerian army and the police, is very cordial, and we are working very well with them. And a lot of local governments, the bandit has even called for fees, because when I came on board, I told them that I will not negotiate with any bandit, because there is no point for me to negotiate with anybody at the point of disadvantage. But now that we have dealt with the situation as much as we could, some of them are coming out and embracing the peace issue, and we have gotten peace accord with the locals in some of the local government in the state. And since when those things were done, and for over 3-4 months now, there was no any attack in those
Interesting, Your Excellency. One of the things that perhaps one of the strategies of the federal government, which is the issue of forest guards being engaged. That's on the one hand. On the other hand is the talk about state police. I'd like to know what your take is on either of these. There are those who believe that forest guards without state police is half measures. If it were left to you, would you clamor for state police in Katsina State? Is Katsina State able to afford its own state police today?
Yes, I think we have written We have even written clearly the position of Katsina State that yes, we need state police, and our point and reason for that is very clear. Because when I came, it requires that those people that now we have employed as community guards, we cannot be able to give them superior arms. Why? Because the law does not allow us to do it. If we have state police, they can be able to have superior arms the way the bandits are having it. So with that, they can be able, if our boys could have been allowed to use AK-47, this banditry in the state could have been history for the last 2 years. But it's because they have superior arms than our boys can only use pop action. So that was what is making the fight very difficult. Even myself, before I became a governor, I have that notion that state police are not good. Why? Because some governors may use it for political reason against their opponent. But when I came into the office, I realized that there is need for this state police because if we are giving directives to these people and we are their influence and we can take phonetic action against them, things could have been different. But if you ask the military or the police to go, if they refuse to go, there is nothing you can do to them as a state governor. So, but when you have that authority to do that, and when people were talking that the state governors can use the police against the opponent, I tend to wonder because the state police and the army are under the president. And we are all living witnesses in Nigeria. A sitting president will not be able to secure a second term. Why? Because he has the control of the police and the army, but he hasn't has control over the voters. So it is really funny for somebody to tell you that someone will take advantage. Nigeria is growing, the democracy is developing. So the issues of somebody manipulating this and that is now fading away. And
Okay,
with
well,
that, we have to look at the major situation in front of us and try to deal with the institution, not to be talking about some very minute reasons, even if there are levels in which a person in authority can use security to win election. There is level to
well, Your
that. And
Excellency,
we have seen sitting governors losing election. We have seen a sitting president losing election despite the control he has over the security.
well, Your Excellency, now that the constitution review process is on again, is this something that you, at a state level or at a regional level, or even among your colleagues in the governors forum, is this something that the governors would want to champion as
I
an
think
agenda for the
about
constitution
33,
review?
yes, I think about 33 governors have indicated interest in establishment of state police. We have submitted our position to the National Economic Council long ago, and about 33 governors have indicated interest to have state police. So this is something I believe if we push it through the constitutional amendment, it's going to scale through because I believe that 24 state governor or more than that, because 33 has already indicated we are going to get 23rd of the state assemblies to approve that. And I believe that this is the only way out with the present situation we are in Nigeria, with about 32 or 33 states engulfed with one problem of insecurity to another. We need to have that. We need to put politics aside because you can't be governor for 1,000 years. Even if you try to manipulate anything or use any instrument of government, you will leave power after 8 years and somebody is going to take off that position and use that same instrument against you. So we have to look at Nigeria, we have to look at the present situation and stop about all this nonsense that people used to do in terms of security situation in our country.
Well, Your
We have
Excellency,
to be
several issues, beg for your own responses this morning, and I'm sure Markwe has one or two as well. But let me take you up on this one. Now, there's this talk of the coalition, and the core issue every one of them is talking about is, the current realities is biting hard on people. People can't eat, they can't transport themselves. Economic realities are daunting and all. So, in your opinion, how real are these realities? And what promise can we make to Nigerians that, look, things are going to get better? Or is this the way it's going to continue?
Look, this country, we tend to forget things easily. Not long ago, last 2 years or last 3 years or so, we were shouting about the hardship under the regime of General Muhammadu Buhari or President Muhammadu Buhari. And we can still remember when people were shouting when Jonathan was the president, when people were shouting when Shagari was a president, people were shouting when we have military junta in this country. So, Nigerians tend to forget things easily. Nobody is going to say that there is no hardship in Nigeria. Whoever says that is just trying to lie to himself. But the only way out of this situation is what can we do to salvage that situation? What can we do? That is why, as subnational, we are bringing about so many social programs to alleviate the sufferings of the people. And we realize that in Katsina State, our major thing to revive any economy in the state is to empower our farmers, which are 90% of our population. And this is what we have been investing as a government to try to subsidize input to the farmers, to try to provide machineries to the farmers, to try to provide extension services to the farmers. Once we are able to do that, we will have food security. Once a common man has food, he doesn't have anything to worry. He concentrates on what he's doing and his businesses, and we are providing opportunity and funding for support of MSME, support of agri-businesses, so that at least, and we are training our teaming youth now, graduates, into agricultural production in different aspects, and we are training them for 6 months, within which we will graduate them, give them land, give them money to put up their businesses, and be influence of labors. That is the only way we can rejuvenate the economy. But this coalition that we are talking about in Nigeria, what is new to Nigerians about it? Who are these people into this coalition? Why are they not in another coalition before? What are they going to come and do different from what is happening in the country now? Can they promise Nigerians that they are going to bring about, they will bring the subsidy, fuel subsidy? Let them come out and tell Nigerians, those who want to contest for president under this coalition, let them come and tell Nigerians, are they going to bring subsidy back? And if they are going to bring subsidy back, let them tell Nigerians how they are going to run the government. And with what resources are they going to run the government? And with what resources are they going to pay to bring about the subsidy? Let's be realistic. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The time for deceiving Nigeria is over. Who was not in government last regimes? Who is not in government? We have seen that, we know the track record of everyone. We know what they have done when they were in government. And they are now crying and shouting because they are outside of the government. Let's be realistic. If we are coming with something new to Nigerians, every Nigerian is going to embrace it, because all of us are here to make Nigeria better and try to do it. Our problem is we, the politicians, and we must clean ourselves and be sincere to ourselves if we want to move this country forward.
Well, Your Excellency, just one more issue here. So the issue of local government autonomy is something that a good number of people are still wondering how it's playing out. We still hear a situation where some local government chairmen are saying that their state governors forbid them from opening an account with CBN and all of that. And it is definitely affecting security at the local levels. Just as you said, all insecurity is local, all development is local. What is the issue that you think governors have with the autonomy of local government administrations?
This issue of local government autonomy, I am a beneficiary of that. I was a local government chairman for about 6 years in Katsina State, and I've enjoyed autonomy. And that enjoyment of autonomy has really helped my political career. And what I want to say is, for some states, I may not speak on their behalf, but maybe I will speak for my state. I believe there should be autonomy in local governments. I believe there should be. But my only concern about that is we have to put some mechanism to ensure that we monitor those resources to ensure that it's being utilized judiciously for the benefit of the common man. Because even when we were given opportunity and autonomy in my state during the late era when I was local government chairman, but he put an instrument that checkmates what the local governments are doing and making sure that local governments utilize the resources as provided by the government. So what we need to do, even in Katsina, as I speak to you, we are enjoying autonomy to some extent, even without passing or implementing that judgment or whatever, because every end of the month, we sat down with the chairman, give them their resources, let them bring the project they want to do. We give them their resources to do those projects and ensure that we monitor and make sure they did what is supposed to be done. There is check and balances. So with check and balances, there is nothing wrong with the local government autonomy. I, as a state governor, I have resources that I can be able to do my projects. I don't need to go. And then it's a complementation. Because if local governments are doing things, state governments are doing things, federal government are doing things, we will help develop this nation. But I don't have problem with the local government autonomy. My problem is let's secure certain things. The payment of salary for the teachers, the payment of health workers, the payment of local government and pension and gratuity to the workers is something that we need to work holistically about it to ensure and guarantee workers of their safety under the autonomy. But with that, I don't have any problem, but there should be check and balances from the Ministry of Local Government and from the local government auditor so that we make sure that the money is being utilized properly. With that, we'll have a better country and it will reduce a lot of other hardship on the people.
Speaking of hardship, Your Excellency, has there been any way to measure? Because I know that you've put quite a number of policies and programs in place to reduce the suffering on the people as a result of some of the policies that have been taken at the federal level and perhaps also at the state level as well. Has there been any way to measure all of these policies to see what effect, if they're really having the desired effect on the people of your state?
We created a Bureau of Statistics in the state so that we can be able to monitor the poverty level at the state level, out of school children, almajiris in the school, and all their data. We have done baseline studies on our health institution, on our education, on the farmers. And again, you have just recently seen the MBC result of the ease of life, that Katsina State came number 1 in terms of ease of living, because the prices of food, commodities, and water is the lowest in the whole country in Katsina State. Why do we do that? Because we do some kind of intervention, very high level of intervention in agriculture. We also have done a high level intervention in reducing the cost and prices of foodstuffs, because at a time we came out with our product that we bought in our stores and sell those bags of rice, maize at the cost of 20,000 to the underprivileged people. And still now we have in stock. When the time gets tough, we will bring down the prices in our state. And with those policies and helping the downtrodden and trying to empower our youth, our women, and all other categories, that was how we are bringing out. And the statistics that we are having has really indicated, I could have given you, roll out the figures, but I don't have the figures now. I don't want to misquote. But I tell you that we are monitoring the level through the Bureau of Statistics of our state, and we are trying to address those challenges as it comes. And the result has really indicated even the out-of-school children has been reduced because of the policies and the new schools that we have built, because of the initiatives that we came out with, because of the reduction on the level of insecurity. Some children were able to go back to schools, and our schools were open and normal activities are taking place. So we are trying gradually to reduce the level of poverty, gradually to reduce the level of out-of-school children, and reduce the maternal and child mortality rate in our states. That is why now we are trying to have a functional primary health care in each ward out of the 361 wards. As I speak to you today, over 200 have been fixed as functional primary health centers in the state, and they are operating 24 hours with some vehicle that can move from the primary to the secondary hospital or tertiary institution. We have upgraded over 7 primary health centers to general hospital. We are building one of the most important and was one of the biggest public imaging center in the country. We have already established dialysis center, which is one of the biggest public dialysis center in the country. All these things are in Katsina. It may take time to come and see what is happening.
And I'm sure, do you also have the personnel to man some of these health centers? Because you know that...
we are doing it in simultaneously. As we are providing this, we are taking our doctors for training in some of those things that we are providing at the center. We are doing it simultaneously at the same time, trying to build, and we have created a portal. Since when I came, I even opened a portal for employment of doctors that may wish to take employment wherever they are from this country. And it's still open. We have recruited some more doctors, and I have taken about 40 students to Egypt for last year to study MBBS, and they are doing very well, and we have tied them to their local government. So when they come back, they will go and work in their local government for a certain period. So we are doing a lot of other things to support the health institution with personnel, and we have recruited now over 700 health personnel into our institution, and we are going to do about 3,000 by next year, inshallah.
Your Excellency, it's a fine place to leave it. We certainly will be keeping tracks with you over the next 2 years that you have in office. I believe also that you might be seeking re-election. But we have to thank you so much for speaking with us this morning on Sunrise Daily.
And I'm extending my invitation. When you have time, please come to Katsina and see to yourself what we have done.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We certainly will consider that invitation. We've been speaking with His Excellency Governor Diko Radda of Katsina State. Well, that's how we wrap up. That's how we wrap up this morning's program. We have to thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day.